Name is Steve Greenfield. I've been here for 9 years.
And you think I'd know these by now. What's your role at a fire scene? What's your job?
Basically, the short answer to that question is to do whatever the chief and the line officers send me in to do. As far as my qualifications here, I'm an interior firefighter. I'm a certified interior firefighter. It means I'm certified to do basically everything. I can go inside the structure. I can fight fire. I can conduct rescue. I can conduct exterior operations as needed. Ladders, rescue, whatever's called for. The way it basically works, you get on a scene, and whatever officer is there, usually the chief that's doing size up on the situation, and he's on the radio. He knows what trucks are underway and what manpower is on the trucks, and he's got some decisions made before you even arrive on the scene. You come out, you get assigned to a job, you do the job, and that's how it works at every call.
You just mentioned a whole bunch of different tasks. Does every one of those tasks have its own training? Talk about the training you undergo.
Sure. Well, we train here. Well, first of all, we start with a 80, 90-hour Firefighter 1 class that's run by state instructors, and that lets you get in the door. That's like getting your driver's license. That lets you get in and actually use the equipment. But the real training, the training that actually gets you knowing what you have to do and working with the other firefighters in your department, happens here every Monday night. We get trained in-house by our own more experienced officers. We work through not just the general concepts, but the actual specifics, what we carry in each compartment on each truck, how they're used in an integrated way to solve the situation when we arrive on the scene. So you might find yourself on a particular Monday, we might be doing ladder exercises, which could involve the aerial truck as well as all the the extension ladders that we set up by hand. We might be doing hose advancement. We might be doing rescue. We might be learning on how to cut up a car and rescue somebody that's trapped inside, extricate somebody trapped inside an overturned vehicle that's in a pond. You know, it can be, these are real situations that have happened within this department. So we actually do scenarios that exist right here every day for us, and they're run by our officers. We come here every Monday night.
Well, you said something to me once years ago that stuck with me. You said you had to go to a training to learn how to jump out the second-story window of a burning building.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that training. I've done it a number of times, and I think we're going to have it coming up again in March, and that's the kind of thing you keep on doing. That is your firefighter survival. That's, pretty much the important thing when you go out on a call is to make sure you come home again. We look after each other. We look after ourselves. We have families that need us coming home every day. Nobody goes into this as a volunteer specifically in pursuit of the risk. The risks here are all mitigated by our training, by our ability to rely on the quality of our equipment, the quality of our other firefighters. So yes, we do drill on going out windows. There's different ways to do it, and you have to know all the different ways, because on the day that it's your turn to get out of a situation that's gotten too hot to stay indoors, you don't know if you're going out the window, if you're going out the door, or if you're actually breaking your way through the wall and out through the bricks. I mean, as you learn every technique that's available, because that's the only way you're going to be prepared to do what needs to be done when your turn comes.
Well, despite all the training, as a human being, do you ever get scared?
Scared it probably means something different to a lay person than to somebody that's here. I don't fear the situations that we go into, but we respect them. Should probably best put it that way. And the reason that we respect them is because we're well trained in what the dangers are, and also in the number of unknowns that you think you see a particular situation, and what's the range of unknowns that you're facing. I would have to say that the biggest concern that I had personally goes back a number of years now, probably about 6 years. We had a gasoline truck overturned on the thruway, and I was with the first couple of people that was out there. I was actually picked up in a chief's car and brought out there, and the chief that night needed a size up. He needed the first two firefighters to go under the overturned truck and come back with a report on what we found there. And the first thing we found before we even got out onto the thruway was the odor of gas. Obviously, thousands of gallons of gasoline were in the drainage ditch on the side of the road, and we had to actually jump that ditch to get under the carriage of the gasoline truck so that we could give our report of what's going on. And so you have that concern, is there an ignition source here? That would have obviously been a significant situation. But again, we're wearing our protective equipment. We're following procedures. We're two people together. We're supervised by an officer. And so again, it probably, you have to describe that as a matter of respecting the situation rather than actually feeling some kind of dread fear.
Giving whole new meaning to the word volunteer. Thank you for what you do.
Okay, and thank you.
Well, I'm not done. I'm not done.
Okay, great.
So how does your family feel about your service?
Family is very supportive. Family has to be very supportive because there's a lot of training, a lot of time that we spend down here. The calls are going to happen any time of day or night. You're going to be getting out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning and coming home just when the kids need to have breakfast to go out to school. So you need a supportive family to do that. My family has been very supportive. I've had more kids since I joined, and so now I have 3. The kids actually are thrilled about this because, once a year we come to school and we do the fire prevention week and we talk to the kids, and they're like, hey, you're Maya's dad, you're Naomi's dad, and it's kind of nice because actually I think that's actually maybe the most important thing we do every year is bringing up children to understand how to keep themselves safe, how to make their home safe so that incidents don't happen, and how to keep themselves safe when an incident does happen, to be able to be part of that and to have kids of my own that are that age that are part of that with the other kids. Just feels really good. It makes the kids feel good, makes me feel good.
Great. Well, one last thing. This place is a real family feel. Tell me about the bond between firefighters.
Well, the bond arises, as you might expect, from a combination of things: the amount of time that we spend together, the nature of what we do, what's at stake in the way we rely on each other is really, that's at the core of everything, is what's at stake. If I don't train, if I don't stay healthy, if I'm not strong enough to hold that hose when it's put under pressure so that the guy guiding the nozzle can aim directly at the fire, people are going to get hurt or worse. It's not even simply about the property and the people you can find. We are depending on each other to train, to know how to use the equipment, to do all our work in an integrated way, to follow orders on the scene from our officers very closely. And over time, we discover that we can rely on each other very well in those conditions and with our training, and we keep ourselves safe and we get the job done. We protect the property, we protect life, and I guess when you see the commitment that people have, the amount of time that's going to be spent on training, on fitness, on devotion to the task, it creates that bond in and of itself. It goes beyond what you would conventionally think of as a social type of bond. And that's what keeps us here. And if there's just one last thing I could say, because I know you have viewers on this program, we could use some volunteers. A lot of you people out there who would be watching this know me. I mean, I'm a fairly public person. You and I have worked together in a public situation in the past. Everybody that's in this department is an ordinary person, a member of the community. There's no professional firefighters here. Everybody here is somebody who agrees to wear this pager and to get out of bed when it goes off, whatever time it's going to be. We come down here, we put in the 80 hours at the first training, and that gets you certified to come in the door and do the work. But remember, when I first came down here, it was because there was an article in the newspaper that said that there was a shortage of daytime responders because of the nature of people's professions and the fact that there's more people working out of the town now than in the town during the day. And that was really all it took to get me down here. I work at night. I'm a musician. I said, well, I can make daytime calls. People need to be protected in the daytime. I'm physically fit. They'll train me. Let's go ahead and do this. And that was the whole decision. So I hope that other people who are watching this can see, if I can do this, I'm 51 years old. If I can do this, anybody can do this. Come on down here, fill out an application, join the volunteer fire department. You'll feel a sense, it's the one place left in life where when the job is over, you know what you did. You get that satisfaction. You're not a link in a chain wondering where was my role in the finished product like in most other professions that you have today. You get up, that pager goes off, you know what you're about to do, and when you get home, you know that you did it. And that's a feeling that is hard to find in society these days, and the only place you're going to find it here in New Paltz is right here at the fire department. So please come down and join us.